Welcome to the place where shadows whisper and nightmares breathe. You're listening to Night Stories, the channel that brings your darkest fears to life. True dark web tales, sickening red room stories. If it keeps you up at night, you'll hear it here. So turn off the lights and be ready to get the scare you're craving for. The room is cold. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes your breath catch, even though the heater's been humming all night. My laptop sits on the cluttered desk, its screen the only light in my apartment, casting sharp shadows across the empty takeout containers and crumpled tissues. I haven't cleaned in weeks, not since the call came, the one that shattered my world with 3 words. He's gone, Sarah. My brother, Matt, was dead. A car accident, they said. A drunk driver, a rain-slicked road, and a body so broken they wouldn't let me see him. I didn't even get to say goodbye. Grief is a parasite. It gnaws at you, hollows you out until you're just a shell, moving through life on autopilot. I stopped answering my phone, stopped going to work, stopped caring. But the internet, endless, mindless scrolling, became my escape. At first it was just Reddit threads, YouTube rabbit holes, anything to drown out the silence. Then I stumbled across a forum, buried deep in a subreddit about urban legends, where people whispered about the dark web. They called it a myth, a place where you could find anything if you knew where to look. Drugs, weapons, secrets, and something else. Something about a stream that showed the dead. I laughed it off at first. Ghost stories for the digital age, right? But the post stuck with me, like a splinter in my mind. It described a hidden link, a live feed that only appeared at random times, hosted on a site that didn't exist unless you had the exact URL. The rumors said it showed souls, trapped, tortured, screaming in some kind of digital purgatory. People who'd watched it claimed they saw loved ones, faces they hadn't seen in years begging for release. Most dismissed it as a hoax, a sick prank for twisted minds. But one commenter, anonymous like the rest, swore they'd seen their daughter on the stream, her eyes hollow, her mouth stretched in a scream that didn't stop. They said watching too long made you feel wrong, like something was watching you back. I couldn't shake it. Matt was gone, but what if some part of him wasn't? What if he was out there somehow, caught in that impossible place? The idea was insane, but grief makes you desperate. It makes you believe in things you'd never touch in the light of day. So I downloaded Tor, followed the cryptic instructions from the forum, and started digging. The dark web was a maze of dead ends and cryptic warnings, sites that flickered in and out of existence, pages that loaded with nothing but static or garbled text. But after hours of searching, I found it. A string of numbers and letters, a URL that looked like gibberish. I copied it, pasted it into the browser, and hit enter. The screen went black. For a moment, I thought I'd been scammed, that I'd downloaded a virus or worse. Then, a grainy feed flickered to life. No title, no interface, just a window of distorted video, like an old VHS tape left in the sun too long. The image was murky, a swirling gray haze, but there were shapes moving in it, vague, human-like forms that seemed to writhe and twist. There was no sound at first, just an oppressive silence that made my ears ring. I leaned closer, my heart pounding, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Then the sound came. A low, guttural hum, like a machine grinding to life. It grew louder, splitting into voices, overlapping, screaming. Not words, just raw, animalistic cries of pain and terror. The shapes on the screen sharpened, and I saw them, faces, dozens of them, flickering in and out of focus. Men, women, young, old, their mouths open in endless screams, their eyes wide with something beyond fear. The feed shifted, zooming in on one face at a time, each one more grotesque than the last. A man with skin peeling back from his skull, exposing raw muscle and bone. A woman whose eyes were black pits, leaking something dark and viscous down her cheeks. A child, its mouth sewn shut with thick, bloody thread, still trying to scream. I wanted to look away. Every instinct in my body screamed to slam the laptop shut, to run, to forget I'd ever seen this. But I couldn't. My eyes were glued to the screen, my hands trembling as I gripped the edge of the desk. The feed flickered again, and a new face appeared. My breath stopped. It was Matt. He looked wrong. His skin was too pale, almost translucent, stretched tight over his bones like it might tear. His eyes were sunken, the whites shot through with red veins, and his mouth, God, his mouth, was open in a scream that didn't stop, a sound so raw it made my chest ache. He was clawing at the air, his fingers bent at unnatural angles, like he was trying to tear through the screen itself. "Sarah!" he screamed, his voice distorted but unmistakably his. "Sarah, help me! Please get me out!" I screamed, shoving myself back from the desk, my chair toppling over. My heart was a hammer in my chest, my vision swimming. It couldn't be real. It couldn't be him. But it was. I knew his face, his voice, the way his jaw tightened when he was scared. I scrambled back to the laptop, tears streaming down my face, and reached for the screen like I could pull him out. "Matt!" I shouted, my voice breaking. "I'm here! I'm here!" He didn't hear me. His screams grew louder, more desperate, and the feed zoomed in until his face filled the screen. I could see every detail now, the way his skin seemed to ripple, like something was moving beneath it. His eyes locked onto mine, and for a moment, I swore he saw me. His scream cut off, and his lips moved, forming words I couldn't hear over the cacophony of other voices. Then the feed cut to black. I sat there, shaking, staring at the blank screen. My hands were clammy, my throat raw from screaming. The silence was worse than the noise had been, heavy and suffocating. I refreshed the page, desperate to see him again, to know he was still there. But the URL was gone. Invalid, like it had never existed. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Matt's face, his mouth stretched in that endless scream. I spent hours scouring the forum for answers, but the thread was gone, deleted, or buried. I found scraps of conversation elsewhere, whispers about the stream. People said it wasn't just a video, it was a trap. They said the longer you watched, the more it took from you. One user claimed they'd watched for hours and started seeing things in their house. Shadows that moved, faces in mirrors that weren't theirs. Another said they felt something cold inside them, like their soul was being siphoned away. I told myself it was nonsense. It was just a video, a sick prank. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed in me. My apartment felt different, like the air was thicker, heavier. The shadows in the corners seemed to shift when I wasn't looking, and once, just once, I thought I heard Matt's voice, faint and far away, calling my name. The next night, I found the stream again. A new URL, posted on a different forum, but the same grainy feed, the same screaming faces. I told myself I'd only watch for a minute, just to see if Matt was there. But when his face appeared again, I couldn't look away. He was worse this time. His skin was splitting now, peeling back in strips to reveal something underneath, something dark and writhing, like a mass of worms. His eyes were gone, replaced by empty sockets that seemed to stare right through me. But his voice was still his, begging, pleading. "Sarah, don't watch. It's taking me. It'll take you too." I didn't listen. I couldn't. I stayed there, glued to the screen, watching as the feed cycled through other faces, other screams, but always coming back to Matt. Hours passed, and I didn't move. My eyes burned. My head throbbed. But I couldn't stop. It was like the stream was inside me now, pulling me in, making me part of it. When the sun rose, the feed cut out again. I was shaking, my body drenched in sweat, my fingers numb from gripping the desk. I looked down and saw blood under my nails, like I'd been clawing at something. My reflection in the laptop screen was wrong. My eyes too wide, my skin too pale. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashing water on my face, trying to shake the feeling that something was watching me. But when I looked in the mirror, I saw it. A shadow behind me, formless but moving like it was waiting. I don't know how long I can keep this up. The stream is calling me back, and I know I'll go. I have to see Matt again. I have to save him. But deep down, I know the truth. The stream isn't just showing me the dead, it's taking me too, and I don't know if I can stop. The apartment is no longer mine. It's not just the mess, the overturned coffee mugs, the unwashed dishes piling up in the sink, the faint smell of something sour lingering in the air. It's the way the walls feel alive now, pulsing with a rhythm I can't quite hear but can't ignore. The shadows don't stay still anymore. They creep along the edges of my vision, darting away when I turn to look. And the cold. It's not just in my bones now. It's in my chest, a tight, icy knot that spreads with every breath. I haven't slept in days. Not really. When I close my eyes, I see Matt's face, his skin splitting, his empty sockets staring. His voice echoes in my skull, begging me to stop watching, but I can't. I won't. The stream is all I have left of him. I found it again last night, another URL buried in a corner of the dark web, posted by some faceless user who vanished as soon as I clicked the link. The feed loaded faster this time, like it was waiting for me. The same grainy haze, the same chorus of screams, but it felt hungrier. The faces were clearer now, their torment etched in every line, every tear of flesh. A man with his jaw unhinged, tongue lolling out like a slab of raw meat. A woman whose hands were fused to her face, fingers sinking into her cheeks as if melting into wax. And Matt, always Matt, his body twisting in ways that shouldn't be possible, his screams cutting through the others like a knife. "Sarah, it's eating me!" he shrieked, his voice breaking into static. "Don't let it take you!" I wanted to scream back, to tell him I was coming for him, that I'd find a way to pull him out. But my voice caught in my throat, and my hands wouldn't move from the keyboard. The screen seemed to pulse, the edges of my vision blurring until it felt like I was falling into it. My reflection in the monitor wasn't mine anymore. My eyes were too dark, my mouth too wide, like the stream was reshaping me from the inside out. I don't know how long I watched. Hours, maybe. The clock on my desk stopped working days ago, its hands frozen at 3:17. Time doesn't feel real anymore. When the feed cut out, I was left staring at a blank screen, my breath ragged, my fingers trembling. There was blood on the desk, smeared in streaks like I'd been clawing at it. My nails were cracked, one torn down to the quick, but I didn't remember doing it. I stumbled to the bathroom, my legs weak, and splashed water on my face. The mirror showed a stranger, my skin gray, my eyes sunken, a faint bruise-like shadow spreading across my jaw. I leaned closer, and for a split second, I saw something else in the reflection. A shape behind me, tall and thin, its edges frayed like smoke. I spun around, heart hammering, but the bathroom was empty. Just me and the dripping faucet. I tried to eat, to ground myself with something normal, but the bread tasted like ash, and my stomach churned. I kept hearing Matt's voice, faint and distant, like he was calling from the other side of a wall. "Sarah, don't look. It knows you're watching." I checked the locks on the door, the windows, even though I knew it wouldn't help. Whatever was in the stream wasn't bound by walls or locks. It was in my head now, in my blood. I went back to the laptop. I told myself I'd just check the forums, see if anyone else had seen the stream, if anyone knew how to stop it. But the dark web was a labyrinth of dead links and cryptic warnings. One post, buried in a thread about cursed sites, made my skin crawl. The user claimed they'd watched the stream for 3 nights straight and started bleeding from their eyes. They said the faces in the feed weren't just recordings, they were alive, trapped in some kind of digital hell. "It's not a video," they wrote. "It's a window, and it sees you back." The post was deleted while I was reading it, the user's account gone like it had never existed. I found another URL an hour later. I didn't hesitate. The feed loaded and Matt was there immediately, like it knew I was coming. His body was worse now, his chest caved in, ribs poking through like broken branches, his arms bent backward at the elbows. His face was barely recognizable, the skin hanging in strips, exposing something underneath that glistened like oil. But his eyes... God, his eyes were still his, wide and pleading, locked on mine. "Sarah, it's got me," he whispered, his voice cutting through the screams of the others. "It's taking pieces. Don't let it take you." I reached for the screen, my fingers brushing the glass, and for a moment I swore I felt something. Cold, slick, like touching a slug. The feed flickered, and the other faces vanished, leaving just Matt. The background shifted. No longer a gray haze, but a void, black and endless, with shapes moving in it, long, spindly limbs, eyes that glinted like wet stones. They were circling him, reaching for him, their fingers sinking into his flesh. He screamed, a sound that made my ears ring, and I screamed too, pounding on the desk, begging him to hold on. Then the feed changed. It wasn't Matt anymore, it was me. My face filled the screen, my eyes wide and bloodshot, my mouth open in a silent scream. But it wasn't a reflection. The Sarah on the screen was moving, clawing at her own face, tearing strips of skin away until blood ran down her cheeks. Her eyes locked onto mine, and she spoke, her voice a low, guttural rasp that wasn't mine. "You're already here," she said. "You just don't know it yet." I slammed the laptop shut, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. The room was spinning, the shadows twisting into shapes that weren't human. I backed away, tripping over a chair, and curled up on the floor, hugging my knees to my chest. I could still hear the screams, faint but unmistakable, coming from the closed laptop, and Matt's voice, calling my name over and over. I don't know how long I stayed there, rocking back and forth, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. But when I finally opened the laptop again, the screen was black, the browser closed. The battery was dead, even though it had been fully charged. I plugged it in, hands shaking, and waited for it to boot up. The desktop looked different. My wallpaper was gone, replaced by a grainy image of the stream, frozen on Matt's face, his mouth open, his eyes empty. I tried to change it, but the settings wouldn't open. The cursor moved on its own, clicking a file I didn't recognize. It was a video, time-stamped from an hour ago. It was me, sitting at the desk, staring at the screen, my face blank, my eyes unblinking. I didn't remember recording it. I didn't remember the camera being on. But there I was, motionless, for 30 minutes straight. Then, in the video, I leaned forward, my lips moving, whispering something I couldn't hear. Behind me, in the corner of the room, something moved. A shadow, tall and thin, its edges frayed like smoke. It reached out, its fingers brushing my shoulder, and the video cut to black. I'm writing this now because I don't know what else to do. The stream is still out there, waiting for me to find it again. I can feel it, like a hook in my chest, pulling me back. Matt's still in there, trapped, screaming, and I can't leave him. But every time I watch, I lose something. I can feel it slipping away. Pieces of me, my memories, my thoughts. Last night, I forgot my mother's name for an hour. This morning, I couldn't remember what Matt looked like before the stream. His real face, not the one it's turning him into. The shadows are closer now. They don't just move when I'm not looking. They watch me. I see them in the corners, in the reflections, in the blank screen of my phone when it's off. And my body, it's changing. My skin is too tight. My fingers ache, and when I look at my hands, they don't feel like mine. There's blood under my nails again, and I don't know where it came from. I'm going to find the stream again tonight. I have to. I need to see Matt, to know he's still there. But I'm scared, terrified, that the next time I look, it won't just be him screaming. It'll be me, trapped in that void, my soul bound to the stream, forever. And the worst part? I don't know if I care anymore. I just want to see him again, even if it means losing myself. The apartment isn't a home anymore. It's a cage. The air is thick, heavy with a metallic tang that clings to my tongue. The walls seem to lean inward, their corners swallowed by shadows that pulse like a heartbeat. My laptop sits open on the desk, its screen dark but alive, humming with a low electric drone that vibrates in my teeth. I haven't eaten in days, haven't slept in longer. My body feels wrong, too light, like I'm dissolving from the inside. My skin is gray, stretched thin, and when I touch my face, my fingers come away slick with something that isn't sweat. I don't look in mirrors anymore. The last time I did, my reflection smiled when I didn't. Matt's voice is constant now, a whisper in my ears even when the laptop is closed. "Sarah, it's got me. Don't let it take you." But it's not just his voice. There are others, hundreds, thousands, screaming, sobbing, begging. They're in my head, crawling through my thoughts like maggots. I can't tell which ones are mine anymore. I tried to leave the apartment yesterday, to get away, to breathe air that didn't feel like it was choking me, but the door wouldn't open. The knob turned, but it was like the world outside had vanished. The windows show nothing but black, an endless void where the streetlights used to be. I'm trapped here, with the stream, with Matt, with whatever's watching me from the shadows. I found the URL again last night, It wasn't hard this time. It was waiting for me, posted on a blank page that loaded without me searching. The feed came up instantly, no lag, no static, just a crystal clear window into hell. The faces were there, but they weren't just faces anymore. Their bodies were mangled, limbs twisted into shapes that defied bone and muscle. A man with his spine arched backward, his head nearly touching his heels, his mouth spewing something black and writhing. A woman with her chest split open, her ribs splayed like wings, her heart beating in a cage of bone. And Matt, oh God, Matt. His body was barely human now. His skin was gone, replaced by a glistening black mass that pulsed and writhed. His face was a ruin, one eye dangling from its socket, the other a glowing ember that burned into me. "Sarah," he rasped, his voice a wet gurgle. "You're almost here." I tried to close the laptop, but my hands wouldn't move. They were stuck to the desk, my fingers sinking into the wood like it was wet clay. The screen pulsed, the edges blurring, and I felt it, a pull, like a current dragging me under. The room around me faded, the walls dissolving into that same gray haze from the stream. I was inside it now, not just watching, but part of it. The screams were deafening, a wall of sound that crushed my skull. I saw them, the souls, crowding around me, their hands grabbing at my arms, my face, their fingers cold and sharp, tearing at my skin. I felt it rip, felt the blood run, but it wasn't blood. It was something else, something thick and black that oozed from me like tar. Matt was there, standing in the center of the void, his body a twisted mockery of what he used to be. His arms were too long, his fingers fused into claws that dripped with that same black ooze. His face was split down the middle, one half still his, the other a blank, eyeless mask. "You shouldn't have watched," he said, his voice echoing inside my chest. "It's got you now." Behind him the shadows moved, tall, thin shapes with limbs like spider legs, their eyes glinting in the dark. They were the ones running the stream, I realized. Not people, not machines, but something else, something ancient and hungry that fed on pain, on souls, on the desperate grief of the living. I tried to scream, but my mouth wouldn't open. My lips were sealed, stitched shut with something coarse and burning. I clawed at my face, my nails tearing through flesh, but there was no pain, only a cold, spreading numbness. The shadows closed in, their fingers sinking into my chest, pulling at something deep inside me. I felt it tear free, a piece of me, my essence, my soul, sucked into the void. The stream flickered, and I saw myself on the screen, my face alongside Matt's, my eyes wide and empty, my mouth open in a scream that never stopped. I don't know how I got back to the apartment. One moment I was in the stream, the next I was on the floor, the laptop glowing in front of me. My hands were bleeding, my nails gone, my fingers raw and shredded. The screen was blank, but the hum was louder now, vibrating through the walls, the floor, my bones. I could feel it inside me, a presence that wasn't me, watching, waiting. My reflection in the screen moved before I did, its lips curling into a smile that stretched too wide. I tried to destroy the laptop. I smashed it with a hammer, the screen shattering, the keys flying across the room. But when I looked again, it was whole, untouched, the stream loading without me touching it. Matt's face filled the screen, his ember eye burning. "You're part of it now," he said. "You can't leave." The other faces appeared, dozens of them, hundreds, all screaming, all staring at me. I saw my own face among them, my mouth sewn shut, my eyes leaking black. I'm writing this because I need someone to know, to understand what's happening. But I know it's too late. The stream is in me now, flowing through my veins, my thoughts. I can feel it rewriting me, erasing who I was. I don't remember my childhood anymore. I don't remember Matt's laugh, or the way he used to tease me about my bad cooking. All I see is his face in the stream, his screams blending with mine. The shadows are here now, standing in the corners, their eyes glowing like embers. They don't move, but I feel their hands on me, cold and sharp, pulling at the last pieces of my soul. The laptop is open, the stream playing, and I can't look away. My fingers are on the keys typing this, but they don't feel like mine. My reflection is watching me, smiling, its eyes black pits that drip onto the screen. If you find this, if you read this, don't look for the stream. Don't search the dark web. Don't follow the links. Don't try to see the ones you've lost. It's not a window. It's a trap. The longer you watch, the more it takes, until there's nothing left but a shell, a scream, a face on a screen. I can hear Matt calling me now, his voice clear, so close. He's waiting for me, and I'm almost there. The stream is loading again. My face is on it, my mouth open, my eyes gone. I'm screaming, but I can't hear it. The shadows are closer, their fingers in my chest, pulling, pulling. I'm slipping, falling, becoming part of it. I don't want to go, but I can't stop. Matt's there, and I need to see him, even if it means losing everything. The screen is all there is now. The room is gone, the apartment, the world. Just the stream, the screams, the shadows, and me, trapped inside, forever. Thank you for listening. Hope I didn't scare you too much. If you like my story,